Well, tonight we're continuing a CBS6 investigation into more than $100 million of your hard-earned taxpayer money.
That money is going to people who use public housing, even though they make much more money than the government allows.
Cody Holyoke has been crunching the numbers to get to the bottom of just what's going on.
More than 25,000 families nationwide take home an income that's over the limit set by the federal government. Locally, our tax dollars are helping along a handful of six-figure families, all of them using public housing assistance. And get this, the federal government allows the practice, even though thousands of low-income families in our area are left waiting for a lifeline.
I'll be very honest with you, it surprises me that somebody who makes over $100,000 a year would want to live in a small apartment.
It's a loophole that even stumps the people in charge of public housing. Thousands of families who enter the system are allowed to stay there, even if they make well above the income limit. CBS6 tracked down a federal report showing a handful of local families took home more than $100,000 last year. They live in public housing, and it's perfectly legal.
Once you're into those houses, you can stay there in perpetuity. The law says there's no limit to how long you can live in those houses.
Some of the higher income families have been living there for decades, all while others down on their luck are left looking for a place to stay. There are more than 7,000 people on Albany's public housing waiting list and about 30 families who make more money than the limits put in place. One of those families brings home a six-figure income.
You have 7,000 people waiting. Right. Don't you think that public housing could be better suited for that family?
Well, I think there's a balance.
Stephen Longo runs the Albany Housing Authority. He tells me he doesn't mind if those high-income families are allowed to stay, to a point.
I'm not advocating that someone making $100,000 be allowed to live in public housing. What I am advocating for is that we allow them to be able to stick around, perhaps up to 5 years.
Setting a cap, Longo maintains, would allow those families to have some stability before they're told to leave. And he believes keeping them around might have a positive effect on their low-income neighbors.
I think that, people see that and they say, I saw him do that. If he could do it, I can do it.
A cap isn't a new idea. A number of local housing authorities are considering it. And since the investigation came to light this year, HUD reminded them they could carry it out. But there's still no federal rule on the books. A HUD spokesman tells CBS6 the agency is exploring its options as millions of taxpayer dollars keep helping families who may not need the help anymore.
As long as taxpayer money is in the mix and you're throwing that money in there and it's millions, billions of dollars, I think you have to stick with the rules that are set up for this. If you don't like them, then you change the rules.
Of course, this is a hugely complicated issue, and we've only covered a few of the local cases out there. To see the local data and the federal report for yourself, head to CBS6Albany.com. Cody Holyoke, CBS6 News.